Hello, everyone. This is Mrs. Smalls from Mrs. Smalls Tries It All, the channel where Mrs. Smalls tries a little bit of everything and shares with you how it's done. It's been a while. I'm trying to make a comeback. I want to kind of share the new things I want to do this time around. Yes, I guess you could say, I guess you could call it a hiatus for someone who only has a handful of followers, but I've been busy. And so now what I want to do with, me being busy, not so much be unbusy. I just want to make sure I create more content to share and put on my channel. Now, the focus of my channel, especially when I first started, the focus of my channel has always been being self-reliant, being able to take care of yourself, being able to do things for yourself, not necessarily having to rely on the outside world to be able to sustain you, right? So that's where the gardening came in at. I'm very, very dedicated to gardening and being able to feed yourself from like seed to table. I'm very, very interested and I'm very serious about being able to like feed yourself in the space of not just the gardening, but also with like fishing and things of that nature. So I do want to make sure I start bringing that content out because I do once the summer hit, I'm fishing, I'm crabbing, I'm doing all those type of things. And a lot of times people want to do that, not really sure how to or where to begin or even where to go. So I definitely want to make sure we go there because again, we're talking about being able to take care of ourselves, right? Whether, living off the land and that kind of thing. I'm very big on that. I truly love that. And you would never know that I grew up in Philadelphia because that's like straight big city. However, for some reason, I'm a country girl all the way, right? And me being able to, have a garden, go fishing. If I knew how to hunt, I would show how to do that too. One day. I would do all that too. But definitely being able to sustain yourself, right? The other thing that comes with that I think is very important is just, being able to make your own clothes. Now, no, we're not saying that you got to go out and, be top designer or whatever. But at the end of the day, you create your own clothes. There's a certain level of confidence that comes with being able to create something and make it and rock it, right? When you rock it with the highest compliment, and then when you get a compliment, confidence, and then when you get a compliment on top of that, you floating on air because you made that. That's you, right? Especially when it comes from your imagination. So I'm very big on that, and I want to bring that to the channel as well. So I'm definitely going to do more crocheting tutorials. I'm going to do some sewing tutorials, and everything that I do is simple. This is not, top level design. We're not doing all that. Something very simple that you could put together and sew or crochet and wear, and it won't fall apart, right? So we want to get to that point where we could wear it and, our sweaters aren't falling to pieces, our pants aren't falling off of us, right? So I definitely want to make sure I share that. And then, of course, like little things like back to the nails and possibly doing the hair and things like that. So I definitely want to bring that back. Another thing I would like to add to the channel I was thinking about is I would call my teacher tales, right? So I was a teacher for 21 years, and with being a teacher for 21 years, you got a lot of stories, good and bad. No, I'm not going to have this channel where I'm going to explain all the dirt and all that mess that happened as to why I left teaching, but what I am going to do is talk about all the cute experiences that I had as an elementary school teacher. And so I have a lot of stories to tell, adorable. And I think it'll be a nice little take while you watch me crochet. I'll have my crochet teacher tales, right? So I'm definitely want to add that. And another thing I want to add, which seems like, okay, we're learning. So, what I'm doing in this space is showing it so that I could possibly get some tips. This year, we're planning on getting chickens. So we're going to start small. I did read that if you get one, you have to get two because they are flock animals. So, I would love to bring you on my journey with that, getting the chickens, setting up the coop, taking care of the chickens, the eggs, all that other stuff. And you know, how the Smalls family winds up, how we figure that out. All right. Cause this is a new adventure. When I tell you I grew up in the city, the most I knew about chickens were, you know, of course we had some neighbors that had some, but no farm type area type thing. Okay. So none whatsoever. So when I tell you Google right now and YouTube are my teachers in this space, and anybody who wanted to share some tips, that's where I'm at. So this is more like an adventure where, you know, we're all learning this together. All right. This new experience. So I hope to have you guys check in with me and be on this journey with me. Do some crochets together, some tutorials. At some point I would like, for people to kind of like, especially if I do a how-to, at some point I would like people to kind of showcase what they did with me. So if you know, we're making a bag and you put your own little razzle dazzle to the simple stitch that I make with the bag, send me a picture. I would like to share some of the images or some of the outcome from the tutorials. I think that'll be great. And I just look forward to working with you guys. And again, back to I think I said it before, back to the crochet and sewing like tutorials. These are things that are very, very simple to do. Especially with crochet, it might look difficult. I don't do a lot of granny squares. I'm not saying I don't like them or anything like that. I feel like in some spaces is a place for that, depending on the style. But at the end of the day, if you crochet a square, you can make a sweater. And I say it all the time. If you can make a rectangle or a square, you can make a sweater. All you're doing is putting like squares and rectangles together, lining them up, making sure they're measured properly. And if you do that, you have that. Like, we're not doing from the neck down, even though, you know, at some point I feel like we can progress to that and I can show how to start something from the neck down, like those type of things. But to the most part, you can make a decent looking sweater top just with, you know, crocheting rectangles. It doesn't have to be that serious. And then as far as sewing is concerned, as long as you have the right thread and needle and also material, put the panels together, the patterns together, and I'll show you how to make patterns. And I'm going to say it again. I'm not like top designer, all this stuff. Nope. I make patterns by simply like, I'll find a pair of pants that I like the fit of. Maybe I want the legs a little bit wider. We're going to trace that, make a whole pattern out of that, right? So I'll show you how to do things like that. As long as you got a sewing machine, it might help to get a serger. And of course, like a different needles for your machine, you'll be good to go. You'll be able to have like a whole outfit and things of that nature. So I hope to see you guys soon. And please click like, subscribe, and share. And I'm signing off. I'll see you next time.